The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, February 26, indicate that Victor Newman will reveal his next job for Michael Baldwin, while Adam Newman pulls off a grand gesture for Chelsea Lawson. First, let's talk about Adam and his attempt to sweep Chelsea off her feet. Now that Chelsea's willing to try again romantically, Adam will think this is his big chance to impress her. Although Adam made it seem like their upcoming dinner would be low-key, Chelsea may be taken aback by just how romantic this meal is. Adam will put in some extra effort when it comes to the menu and tablescape, so Chelsea should indeed be impressed. By the time this dinner wraps up, Chelsea and Adam will feel even more connected. Since Adam and Chelsea are going to surrender to passion this week, it sounds like they'll eventually land back in bed together. Meanwhile, Damian Kane will decide to stick around Genoa City even longer. We'll see Damian settle on a new home in GC, so he might book an extended stay at the athletic club or even rent an apartment. Part of Damian may be doing this for Amy Lewis' sake, but he'll mostly be doing it to stay close to Lily Winters. It won't be long until Lily has dinner with Damian as promised, so that'll give them a chance to quiz each other. Damian will be most interested to know if Lily's single since he clearly liked to make himself her man. Over with Victor, he'll speak with Michael about some new orders. This will tie in with a plan to help Lily, so Victor may push Michael to find out more info on Aristotle Dumis. Aristotle is the real owner of the companies Damian's connected to, so Victor might even hope he can score a one-on-one meeting with this mysterious corporate player. Whatever the case, our predictions hint that Aristotle may ultimately come to Genoa City and make quite a splash in the coming weeks. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will remain curious about Aristotle, so stay tuned for updates on any stunning news Michael might uncover. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, February 25, imply some plot twists on the horizon in Genoa City as Sweeps Month continues. There's a kidnapping situation in the little town, where one victim is in a dire situation, and the other has a difficult decision to make. What's set to unravel during Tuesday's show? Time to find out. Kidnapping situation. As fans found out during the Monday, February 24 episode, both Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman went missing. Still, as the show wrapped up, it was revealed that both women were together in the same dingy apartment, passed out. It's clear that someone has kidnapped both ladies, but who's behind this and why? From the sounds of it, Y and R fans will get a little more information during Tuesday's show. Phyllis Summers' dire situation. Phyllis will find herself in a dire situation, so it sounds like both women will awaken during Tuesday's show. Could something physically be wrong with Red, or is it just the realization that someone has kidnapped her, and her fellow hostage happens to be her biggest rival? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Sharon Newman's difficult decision. Meanwhile, Sharon will face a difficult decision during Tuesday's show. Will fans find out the person who has taken the ladies? Could they present the idea of releasing Sharon without Phyllis? Then again, there's a chance that Sharon can physically escape the situation, but might feel weird about leaving Phyllis behind. Is Ian Ward behind the kidnapping, or is there a new threat in Genoa City? Then again, perhaps an old villain who wasn't a fan of either Sharon or Phyllis, is back. Only time will tell. What storyline are you excited to see unravel during Tuesday's show? Share your thoughts below. Watch Y and R on CBS Daily to catch all the drama in GC, and visit SOS often for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless news and spoilers. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, February 25. Reveal that Phyllis isn't in a good place while Sharon is forced to make a choice. Both women are missing, and their families are incredibly worried. This is sure to be a dramatic and action-packed day in Genoa City that you won't want to miss. Next on The Young and the Restless, Phyllis kids are all up in arms over her missing status. Summer and Daniel enlisted Chance's help after they weren't able to reach Phyllis. Maria and Nick became concerned when Sharon failed to show up for a meeting. They weren't able to reach her, and they pushed the panic button too. They're especially worried about the situation given Sharon's recent abduction and drugging at the hands of Ian and Jordan. Daniel, Summer, Nick, and Mariah all gathered at Crimson Lights and started piecing together what they knew. Chance joined them, and somebody mentioned the fact that perhaps these two were missing together and wasn't that weird. Summer wasn't willing to consider that her mom was the culprit, and of course, Mariah and Nick didn't think Sharon was the mastermind. However, they didn't know what happened to the women. We saw that they were both unconscious in a dark basement. Now, Phyllis finds herself in dire circumstances, while Sharon is forced to make a difficult decision. Will Sharon's decision seal Phyllis' fate? Is it possible that Sharon will escape while Phyllis remains captive? Or will the person who orchestrated this whole thing give Phyllis an ultimatum? Whatever it is, these two women have a serious situation to handle. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that someone is holding Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman hostage at the Old Havenhurst psychiatric facility, but who is their captor? Let's consider some clues from the February 25 episode as we work to nail down the person responsible. For starters, Phyllis suggested they were likely in this mess because of Sharon, who has a history of mental health issues. However, Sharon fired back that maybe somebody decided Phyllis should finally get the help she needed instead. Sharon added that Phyllis did get treatment years ago, so that may have been a hint that Phyllis is mostly to blame for their joint time in captivity. Another clue backs that up since the captor eventually played a song over the loudspeaker that left Phyllis especially agitated. Sharon could tell that Phyllis had a tense reaction to the music and kept trying to get Phyllis to remember if it was familiar to her. Phyllis was too upset and stubborn to even try, but we'd say this song is indeed connected to a memory in her past, one that she shares with her captor. It's worth mentioning that the song used in the show is Misty Moon by the Sunset Sound featuring Shelby Lynn. It's got a bluesy vibe and features some interesting lyrics that talk about a night bird singing a mournful song. The song also reflects on being left with nothing but the ghost of you and expresses hope that they'll see each other again underneath the misty moon. Could this relate to Phyllis' faked demise, especially since Sharon threw that scheme in her face as they fought on the February 25 episode? Some viewers have suggested Jeremy Stark, James Hyde, might somehow still be alive and out for revenge, or that maybe someone connected to him is trying to avenge him instead. Jeremy proved he liked psychological games when he helped Phyllis play dead to frame Diane Jenkins Abbott. Phyllis ultimately killed Jeremy in self-defense once their partnership went south. However, it's tough to see what Sharon would have to do with any of that. The captor confirmed that this is about Sharon, Phyllis, and no one else, so Sharon is definitely a factor in some way. It's possible there could be some sort of Patty Williams-related twist, since she's had storylines tied to both Phyllis and Sharon in the past. Patty would also have a psychiatric facility connection, so that's worth keeping in mind. Even if Patty isn't behind this, someone could be acting on her behalf. That said, the song almost makes it seem like Phyllis' ex-lover, who also has some link to Sharon. There's a chance this storyline will involve some real lie and our history, but it's also possible it'll be some newly invented curveball that the show just pretends was part of the past. David Pressman has been cast in an unknown role that Michelle Stafford hyped up on her Instagram account. Could Pressman be playing the captor, or is he perhaps playing Aristotle Dumis instead for a completely different storyline? Regardless, Phyllis and Sharon have to work as a team to play this game with the goal of staying alive. Their captor used a voice changer to disguise their identity and refused to divulge their name. So maybe figuring out who's at fault is part of the game. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some wild stuff is still to come for Sharon and Phyllis. So stick with us for more captor predictions and updates on any big news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, February 25, reveals that Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers will be forced to team up. So let's talk about the hostages' next step. Phyllis and Sharon have both become kidnapping targets, so they'll be disoriented when they finally regain consciousness in a gross apartment. Sharon and Phyllis may realize they were ambushed and drugged before getting thrown into captivity together. Of course, it's possible Sharon will point the finger at Phyllis, depending on who wakes up first. Sharon might wonder if Phyllis is taking matters into her own hands with a revenge scheme after all. Then again, it could be Phyllis who accuses Sharon of going back off the rails. If Sharon is already awake when Phyllis opens her eyes, she might initially think Sharon is her captor. However, it shouldn't take long for Sharon and Phyllis to compare notes here. Phyllis and Sharon will eventually figure out they're both stuck in the same boat, so they'll know an alliance would be better than more fighting. I and our spoilers say Phyllis will discover that she's in serious trouble and realize Sharon could be her only source of help right now. Sharon will have that same realization and will make a choice she'd rather not make. Sharon and Phyllis obviously won't like being forced into this partnership, but working as a team will be their best chance at scoring freedom. Phyllis and Sharon may consider a potential escape plot and debate who might have put them into this hostage situation. It sounds like Sharon and Phyllis will do some brainstorming as they try to come up with some solutions. It hasn't been that long since Sharon was held captive in the sewer, so she certainly won't like landing in a similar predicament so soon. Sharon's accommodations will be a little more comfortable this time, but she'll still want to get the heck out of there ASAP. Phyllis will want the same thing, so stick with us for updates on any shocking captor news and more predictions on her strategy session with Sharon. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon and Phyllis will have to pull off a team effort if they want reunions with their families. Genoa City is about to get a whole lot more interesting. The Young and the Restless spoilers relay that CBS Soap is welcoming a new power player, and the early buzz indicates Aristotle Dumis is about to shake things up in a big way. Could this mysterious newcomer be the next Ashland Locke? Or is he an even bigger threat waiting to unleash chaos? Keep scrolling to know all about him. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Who is Aristotle Dumis? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Aristotle Dumis is soon making his debut in Genoa City, and rumor has it that he could be the next Ashland Locke. Viewers must remember Locke as someone who was always sneaky when it came to business, and he faked cancer during his stint on the soap. However, things did change once he fell in love with Victoria Newman, but they didn't end well. The sinister businessman was killed off in 2022, and looks like the show is missing someone of the traits. And now, Victor Newman has set his eyes on this new man, Aristotle, the real owner of the companies Damien Kane runs. It is noteworthy that the Newman patriarch has heard of him before, but hasn't met him ever. So the spoilers for this week suggest Victor will put Michael on the job of digging for info on this mystery man. There has been talk about Aristotle keeping himself mysterious and alone, so he definitely ticks the boxes of being shady. If Victor gets intrigued by something, we know he doesn't let it go. So there is a possibility that Dumis will have to make his entrance soon enough. Fans will also remember that Michelle Stafford teased David Pressman as a cast addition a few months ago. So it looks like Pressman could actually be one who can portray the next power player of Genoa City. Whatever be the case, this whole Aristotle drama is going to wreak havoc all around, and we all better be prepared. For more such The Young and the Restless spoilers, keep following Soap Opera Daily. The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, February 25, reveals Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers will wake up in an abandoned psych clinic. And our spoilers tease Sharon will awaken as an alarm sounds in the room where she's being held. It'll be blaring through a loudspeaker and Sharon will say, "Oh no, oh no." She'll get up and tell herself she's okay. Then she'll start looking around. "Hello, is anyone there?" she'll ask, and the alarm will blare again. "Who are you?" she'll shout. "What do you want from me?" Sharon will see a door, but she can't open it. She'll bang on the door and ask if anyone can help her. Then she'll question whether or not what's happening is real, and she'll wonder if she's losing her mind. And our daily scoop. Phyllis and Sharon reel as an alarm goes off. But Sharon will realize it's very real. "There has to be a way out of here," she'll say to herself. Then she'll see someone else lying on the floor. "Phyllis?" she'll ask, and she'll shake her awake. "Oh hell no," Phyllis will say when she sees Sharon. "Where are we?" she'll ask. "What did you do to me?" Sharon will tell her someone put them there, and they're both stuck there. They'll start arguing and Phyllis will try the door. "We're trapped? Oh my God, we're trapped," she'll say. Sharon will try to search Phyllis for a key, but she'll say she's not the one who did it. "You say you're not behind this," Sharon will tell Phyllis. "I'm not either." Then the alarm will blare again. "Who did this?" Phyllis will ask Sharon. She'll say it couldn't be Jordan, Colleen Zank, or Ian Ward. Ray Wise, they're both dead. "Why me?" Phyllis will say to the ceiling. "Keep her." Sharon will tell Phyllis she needs to calm down. So Phyllis will take charge and look through a basket until she finds a paperclip. She'll try to pick the lock on the door, but the paperclip will break off. Sharon will head to the bookshelf. All the books there will say Property of Heavenhurst Psychiatric Clinic. They'll sit down, and Phyllis will ask if she remembers where she was before she woke up. Phyllis will say she was in her suite and was having some wild dreams. Sharon will say she had a wild dream as well. Both women will talk about how their kids must be worried. They'll look around for their phones and Sharon will find a bag of canned food and a can opener. Phyllis will say she needs to hydrate. But Sharon will tell her not to drink the water. She'll say it could be drugged. Young and the Restless scoop. Phyllis wants to know about the rules. Phyllis will ask if she was calm like this before in the sewer. They'll discuss Ian and Jordan and Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, pointless death. When I look back at this and realize my free will was being taken away from me, Sharon will tell Phyllis, and that stain will not wash off of me. I'll never get over it. "Good, you shouldn't," she'll reply. "Lucy lost her mom because of Ian Ward, but she almost lost her father because of you." Phyllis will tell Sharon she doesn't care about all of her tears and her regret. "You earned it," she'll add. "Choke on it." Sharon will ask her nemesis if she sees her as harmless or a supervillain. "I think you're both," Phyllis will reply. "You cry to whoever will listen, but you also were able to take a body and throw it into the river." Sharon will tell Phyllis she could be using her energy to find a way out. "Do you want to get out of here so that we never have to speak to each other again?" She'll ask her. The alarm will sound again. Then they'll hear a song. "Hey, you freak!" Phyllis will shout. "What do you want?" Sharon will ask if the song sounds familiar, but Phyllis will say she doesn't care. "Okay, we're listening," Phyllis will say to the speaker in the wall. "What are the rules?" A man's voice will reply, and tell them they have to work as a team in the game. Phyllis will ask what the prize is. "Staying alive," the voice will reply. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that someone is holding Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman hostage at the old Havenhurst Psychiatric Facility. But who is their captor? Let's consider some clues from the February 25 episode as we work to nail down the person responsible. For starters, Phyllis suggested they were likely in this mess because of Sharon, who has a history of mental health issues. However, Sharon fired back that maybe somebody decided Phyllis should finally get the help she needed instead. Sharon added that Phyllis did get treatment years ago, so that may have been a hint that Phyllis is mostly to blame for their joint time in captivity. Another clue backs that up since the captor eventually played a song over the loudspeaker that left Phyllis especially agitated. Sharon could tell that Phyllis had a tense reaction to the music and kept trying to get Phyllis to remember if it was familiar to her. Phyllis was too upset and stubborn to even try, but we'd say this song is indeed connected to a memory in her past, one that she shares with her captor. It's worth mentioning that the song used in the show is Misty Moon by the Sunset Sound featuring Shelby Lynne. It's got a bluesy vibe and features some interesting lyrics that talk about a night bird singing a mournful song. The song also reflects on being left with nothing but the ghost of you and expresses hope that they'll see each other again underneath the misty moon. Could this relate to Phyllis' faked demise, especially since Sharon threw that scheme in her face as they fought on the February 25 episode? Some viewers have suggested Jeremy Stark might somehow still be alive and out for revenge, or that maybe someone connected to him is trying to avenge him instead. Jeremy proved he liked psychological games when he helped Phyllis play dead to frame Diane Jenkins Abbott. Phyllis ultimately killed Jeremy in self-defense once their partnership went south. However, it's tough to see what Sharon would have to do with any of that. The captor confirmed that this is about Sharon, Phyllis, and no one else, so Sharon is definitely a factor in some way. It's possible there could be some sort of Patty Williams-related twist since she's had storylines tied to both Phyllis and Sharon in the past. Patty would also have a psychiatric facility connection, so that's worth keeping in mind. Even if Patty isn't behind this, someone could be acting on her behalf. That said, the song almost makes it seem like Phyllis' ex-lover, who also has some link to Sharon. There's a chance this storyline will involve some real Vi and our history, but it's also possible it'll be some newly invented curveball that the show just pretends was part of the past. David Pressman has been cast in an unknown role that Michelle Stafford hyped up on her Instagram account. Could Pressman be playing the captor, or is he perhaps playing Aristotle Dumis instead for a completely different storyline? Regardless, Phyllis and Sharon have to work as a team to play this game with the goal of staying alive. Their captor used a voice changer to disguise their identity and refused to divulge their name, so maybe figuring out who's at fault is part of the game. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some wild stuff is still to come for Sharon and Phyllis. So stick with us for more captor predictions and updates on any big news ahead. We'll have other exciting Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates to check out, so make us your one-stop Y and our source. Young and the Restless weekly spoilers find Phyllis Summers in danger during the week of February 24 to 28, 2025. Elsewhere, someone makes the right choice and a reunion gets underway on Y and R. Check out the latest spoilers for the CBS daytime drama. Young and the Restless weekly spoilers, Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman at risk. This week, on Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers are both missing. They went missing around the same time, and neither of their families have heard from them. Soon, Phyllis ends up in serious danger, and Sharon faces a difficult choice. Chances are, Ian Ward abducted both of them to get the ultimate revenge, and he might force Sharon to choose between her freedom and Phyllis. Later, on Young and the Restless, Phyllis won't back down, so she likely stands up to her kidnapper. Meanwhile, everyone's suspicions about them grow. No doubt, they all think Phyllis Summers grabbed Sharon to punish her. However, she's the one running out of time this week. Indeed, they both are. I and our weekly spoilers, Adam and Chelsea Spark. While Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman are trapped, two people reconnect. Chelsea Lawson slowly lets her guard down with Adam Newman. Coming up, on Young and the Restless, Chelsea considers what move to make next with Adam. Then he goes to great lengths to impress her with a romantic dinner. Later, they give in to their temptations. So they likely end up sleeping together, and this could be the start of their next chapter. Elsewhere, Nick Newman and Daniel Romalotti hide something from Billy Abbott. Most likely, they keep Phyllis' disappearance from him. Later, Nick's father, Victor Newman, gives him a warning about Sharon. Then he gets Michael Baldwin on board to help Lily Winters, Young and the Restless weekly spoilers. Audra does the right thing. Elsewhere, on Y&R, Audra Charles comes clean to Nate Hastings. She tells him all about her past with Holden Novak. She feels awful for not telling him right away. But Nate is extremely understanding and forgives Audra, which comes as a shock to her. They are stronger than ever, and she wants to keep it that way on Young and the Restless. So she takes things a step further and makes sure to set boundaries with Holden. Indeed, she doesn't want him to do anything to jeopardize her relationship with Nate. Unfortunately, it might not be that easy. Meanwhile, on Young and the Restless, Damian Kane decides to stay in Genoa City, but for an unexpected reason. And it appears that he buys a house or at least rents a place to live. However, it's more likely that he's sticking around for Lily and not his mother, Amy Lewis. Y&R is full of surprises this week. Tune in each day to see what happened to the Phyllis Summers and what's next for her and Sharon on the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Kyle Abbott and Summer Newman may play detective to find Phyllis Summers. Will these exes bond over clues as Claire Newman worries about a possible reunion? Claire is trying not to let insecurities creep in, but it's hard when Summer is playing up her own romantic history with Kyle and how Victor Newman always approved. Of course, Summer has also been making predictions about Victor never changing his mind about Kyle's relationship with Claire. It's clearly getting under Claire's skin, so she may be starting to think her romance with Kyle is doomed. Claire will have another reason to think that if Kyle and Summer team up on a special project. Kyle already comforted Summer over Phyllis' disappearance and will certainly be willing to do whatever he can to help. Both Phyllis and Sharon Newman are missing, but Summer may get impatient over Chance Chancellor's lack of progress when it comes to figuring out where they are. I&R fans know Summer never seems to respect the law or Chance's abilities as a detective. Since Chance probably won't solve the case fast enough for Summer's taste, she may take matters into her own hands. Could Kyle help Summer uncover some clues related to Phyllis and Sharon's vanishing act? Instead of trusting the actual detective to solve the mystery, Summer and Kyle might play detective to figure it out themselves. Even if Kyle and Summer don't fully crack the case, they could find out something that might offer a major breakthrough. Summer might owe Kyle a debt of gratitude and feel even closer to him if he comes through for her like that. However, Claire may end up feeling like she's on the outside looking in. This could turn into a situation where Claire watches Kyle and Summer reconnect over their sleuthing skills. One way or another, Summer will work to pull Kyle further into her orbit in the coming weeks, so she'll make some strategy updates. It's possible Summer will do that through this missing Phyllis dilemma if she relies on Kyle for assistance. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer will hope to make Kyle her man again, so we'll see if that'll mean bad news for Claire. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Victor Newman might stage a health crisis and take drastic measures to sabotage Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman's romance. Fans will recall that this isn't his first act of deception. He once went so far as to fake his own death to get back at Adam Newman. Victor can't force Claire into giving up Kyle, but he can manipulate her. While Victor lacks the power to directly compel Claire to comply with his wishes, he certainly possesses the skill to sway her perspective to align with his own. Viewers are aware that Victor sustained injuries following his recent confrontation with Ian Ward, Ray Wise, leaving him vulnerable and irritable during his recovery. This harrowing experience has left a mark on his family, who face the terrifying possibility of losing him. At some point, Victor may choose to exploit this situation, feigning medical issues to gain the upper hand. One can easily envision him staging a heart attack or at least pretending to faint as part of his cunning strategy. Victor could pretend to collapse or have some other big medical setback in Claire's presence. Victor might orchestrate a dramatic medical crisis right in front of Claire. He could goad Kyle into their most explosive confrontation yet, making it appear as though Kyle is the architect of this chaos. Pushed to his limits, Kyle may finally snap, unleashing a torrent of anger like never before. As he confronts Victor with fury, Victor could suddenly collapse, providing Claire with a front-row view of the entire spectacle. Although Claire has promised Kyle that she won't allow Victor to interfere with their love, her grandfather's health emergency could sway her perspective. Claire may reevaluate at that point whether defying Victor is worth it. Claire might find herself reassessing her values, ultimately concluding that the situation isn't worth the emotional toll. If she believes her romantic decisions could jeopardize Victor's health, the weight of that responsibility may become too heavy for her to bear. She could confide in Kyle, expressing that she cannot put her family through this turmoil and that they must stop exacerbating Victor's stress. Should Kyle imply that Victor is merely pretending, Claire could take offense, providing her with yet another reason to distance herself from him. If Kyle's suspicions are correct and Victor is indeed staging a medical crisis, Claire could be left seething with anger at Victor when the truth eventually surfaces. Victor has manipulated his family through medical ordeals before. In any case, Victor has a history of fabricating health crises to twist the emotions of his family. Claire could very well be in for an intense lesson about Victor's relentless tactics. Signs point toward her encountering some distressing revelations in the near future, and will monitor any hospital visits Victor arranges to deceive her. Spoilers indicate that Victor is ready to stop at nothing to drive a wedge between Kyle and Claire, so be sure to stay alert for the latest on his cunning plans. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victoria Newman may have a furious Summer Newman discovery coming up. Will Claire Newman's mom fight back over Summer's Kyle pursuit? Summer has already been finding subtle ways to pull Kyle closer and try to get inside his head. Since Summer has been making predictions about Kyle and Claire's doomed relationship, she's no doubt hoping she'll be proven right in the end. Victor Newman refuses to give Kyle and Claire his blessing, so Summer knows he's standing firmly against the duo. Of course, Victor isn't someone who gives up easily when he wants something, and what he wants is for Claire to be free of Kyle. This storyline will lead to Summer making some increasingly bold moves to win Kyle back for herself. That's bound to cause trouble with Victoria, since she's so determined to protect Claire from pain and give her a bright future. Claire has had enough struggles for a lifetime as far as her mom's concerned, so Victoria certainly doesn't want to watch her suffer through a terrible Kyle breakup. Although Victoria can't stop Victor from rocking the boat, she may feel differently when it comes to Summer. Victoria could easily witness some moments where Summer's clearly making plays for Kyle and trying to lock in her own reunion. Summer got some comfort from Kyle over Phyllis Summer's disappearance, so she may see the potential for more moments like that along the way. I and our fans can also expect Summer to exploit the feud between Victor and Jack Abbott as it worsens. Kyle and Claire will be tangled up in the middle of all that, so Summer will try to use the Abbott-Newman drama to her own advantage. What happens if Victoria catches Summer making blatant attempts to pull Kyle back in her direction? At some point, Victoria might even overhear Summer flat out asking Kyle to leave Claire and come back to her. Regardless, there's the potential for Victoria to leap into action for Claire's sake. It'd be great to see some face-off scenes between Summer and Victoria at some point. Victoria won't be happy about her niece's behavior in the coming months, so we'll bring you updates on any backlash Summer will face. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer may have to deal with Victoria's protective wrath, so stay tuned for all the fierce family news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, February 25 tease that two leading ladies are in unfortunate situations. Missing Phyllis Summers wakes up mystified, and Sharon Newman is between a rock and a hard place, Let's find out what's on tap for your favorite Genoa City characters. Tuesday's episode could be two-sided. Sharon and Phyllis are the only characters listed in Tuesday's spoilers, which could mean that the show revolves around them. Phyllis' kids are worried because they can't get a hold of her, and it appears that she's been kidnapped. As has Sharon, we see them passed out on a dirty apartment floor, looking like they had been drugged. Explosive the Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Phyllis comes to and is terrified at what she finds as she looks around at her surroundings. Horrible predicaments on Tuesday's episode. Red and Sharon have been feuding, and so finding themselves locked up together will not make their day. Sharon is between a rock and a hard spot and faces a dilemma. She makes a difficult choice to trust and work with Phyllis in order to get out of this predicament alive. Before that happens, the foes take some digs and throw some daggers, upset that they are stuck together. They could blame the other for this mess, but ultimately need to find out who is behind their taking. Sharon and Phyllis must work together. We will eventually find out who has taken the two women, but in the meantime, we are left to speculate about their captor's identity. It could be the mysterious Alexander Dumis, a mysterious businessman that Victor is investigating. But why would he take two people he doesn't know? Then again, it could be non-dead Ian Ward, who took his two favorite targets, ready to unleash more mayhem. We saw Ian wake up in the ambulance taking him to the morgue, and we predict that the wily man has managed to put together another malicious agenda to carry out in GC. So villains rarely die. Ian is not done with GC, and Sharon is one of his highest value pawns in his sick and twisted game. Be sure to tune in and find out who is keeping Sharon and Phyllis away from their loved ones. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that chaos in Genoa City is hitting new levels. Sharon and Phyllis will vanish mysteriously while Victor focuses on new business drama. Chelsea and Adam are also on the path of reuniting, but will they? And as if that weren't enough, Victor issues a stern warning to Nick about the dangers lurking around Sharon. Let's dive into all the thrilling drama that is awaiting us. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Feb 24 to 28, 2025. Adam tries to impress Chelsea, Audra confesses. Adam Newman is on a mission, and he won't stop until Chelsea gives in to what they both know is inevitable, a reunion. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of February 24 to 28. Adam will pull out all the stops to win Chelsea over, sweeping her off her feet with a romantic dinner. Chelsea may insist on taking things slow, but we know that these two won't be able to fight the passion for long and might end up between the sheets soon. Next, Audra Charles is dropping some bombshell confessions. She'll open up to Nate Hastings about her past with Holden Novak, which will leave him shocked. But he might not hold it against her and will instead appreciate her honesty. The duo will grow closer in the process. But Holden still has feelings for Audra, so that could lead to some trouble in the coming weeks. She'll make it crystal clear to Holden that she's with Nate now and won't tolerate any lines being crossed. Looks like this love triangle will soon heat up. Victor Newman is a man with mission. Elsewhere in GC, the Newman patriarch wants answers, and we know nothing can stand in his way. This time, his curiosity is piqued by Aristotle Dumis, the person behind Damien's companies. My and our spoilers reveal that Victor will put Michael Baldwin to work, assigning him a crucial task. Will Michael be digging into Aristotle's past for any criminal dirt, or is he being sent to track the mystery man down for a face-to-face showdown? Only time will tell. As for Damien, he isn't going anywhere either. Instead of making a quick exit, he'll decide to stick around Genoa City a little longer. He may claim that Amy Lewis' illness is his reason for staying, but his real motivation is Lily Winters. Damien clearly wants to grow closer to her, and settling down in GC will give the perfect opportunity. Well-wishers get worried for Sharon and Phyllis. Regular viewers know Sharon and Phyllis are under some kind of danger. and Chance Chancellor is on the case. After realizing that Sharon and Phyllis disappeared around the same time, he'll launch an investigation to see if there's a connection. This will spark major tension between Maria Copeland and Summer Newman, who are quick to assume the worst about each other's mothers. But the young and the restless spoilers relay that Sharon and Phyllis aren't battling each other this time. Instead, they're both victims. Someone is holding Sharon and Phyllis hostage, forcing them to put aside their long-standing rivalry. With danger looming, these two powerhouses will have no choice but to work together and fight back. But who is behind this whole abduction drama? We will find out soon. In the meantime, Victor Newman will have some strong words for Nick regarding Sharon. Victor has seen this pattern before Nick playing the hero when it comes to Sharon. With all the time Nick is spending worrying about her, Victor might start to wonder if old feelings are creeping back in. Y&R fans know Victor has a habit of meddling in his family's love lives, so he might warn Nick about reuniting with his ex-wife. The Young and the Restless spoilers, March 03-07, 2025. Sharon and Phyllis captor revealed. During the week of March 03-07, 2025, we will finally get the shocking answer we've been waiting for. It looks like Sharon and Phyllis' mysterious captor will finally be unmasked. But more importantly, what twisted motive do they have for holding these two fierce women hostage? One thing's for sure, the strong-headed women won't sit back and accept their fate. Y&R spoilers hint that they'll either attempt a daring escape or wait for help as Nick and Chance piece together the puzzle. Meanwhile, Summer is growing more anxious by the day, and that means leaning on Kyle for comfort. But her closeness with Kyle isn't sitting well with Claire Newman for obvious reasons. What will happen now? Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily to stay updated with more The Young and the Restless spoilers. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate the Monday, February 24 episode provided plenty of bombshells for fans. First off, viewers knew Phyllis Summers was MIA. However, while there was some concern, many within the land of Genoa City were fluffing off her vanishing act as Phyllis being Phyllis. With that said, Nick Newman and Maria Copeland will start to feel a bit concerned about the fact that they can't reach Sharon Newman during Monday's show. The closing of the episode reveals that the two rivals are being held hostage in a dingy apartment. But who's behind this? Suspect 1, Ian Ward. Y&R fans can't shake the feeling that Ian Ward is behind this. After all, he was at the center of both women's last tragedies, having Jordan run Red off the road and also kidnapped Sharon. Still, reports indicate that Ian exited in January, and even though everyone thinks a gunshot wound killed him, Y&R viewers know he's very much alive. Could the show be punking viewers again? Has Ian returned quicker than expected, or will he loom in the shadows to strike at another moment? After all, as everyone in GC thinks he's dead, he could get away with torturing both Phyllis and Sharon. He could even take them out without anyone suspecting him. An old character return or new threat? Y&R fans could be shocked to find out that a new threat lingers. Right now, audiences are expecting Ian to come out of the woodwork. A new threat could add a layer of mystery and shock once the person was revealed. But who could it be? Could Jordan unexpectedly return? That would be a plot twist. Then again, maybe it's some villain from the distant past, like Patty Williams, who was once played by Stacey Haydock, but could return as a recast. Patty did have a bad history with both Sharon and Phyllis. Then again, what if a brand new character is brought into storylines? Who has kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis? Share your thoughts below. Watch Y&R on CBS Daily to catch all the drama in GC, and visit the site often for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless news and spoilers.